It is peak season in Rome. Peak season runs from May all the way through September, and in peak season comes peak crowds. Attractions in Rome can be very busy, and if you don't know how to navigate, you're going to end up spending a lot of time, unnecessary time, standing in lines. In this video, I'm going to share with you how to avoid most of the lines, and in some cases, how to pay to skip the lines. I'm going to share with you a lot of the sites in Rome that are least crowded during peak season, some great sites that you can enjoy when it gets really stressed, when it's really, busy. In this video, I'm also going to share with you the tickets you're going to need to purchase in advance. There's not a lot, 3 to be specific, that you really need to purchase before arriving in Rome. All the rest can be done as you're here in Rome. You can purchase those then. And we're going to talk briefly about some of the passes, the Roma Pass and some of the other passes that are available to purchase. Are they a good idea? I'll let you know at the end of the video. The first line I'm going to talk about is a line that can easily be avoided, but I see far too many people spend way too much time in line. I'm not talking 20, 30 minutes. I'm talking people spend 2-3 hours and more to get into St. Peter's Basilica. But it's actually very easy to avoid. St. Peter's Basilica opens up at 7 in the morning. If you show up at 7 in the morning, you can basically walk right in without wasting valuable time in line. Another way, in case you're coming from maybe a city outside of Rome, or maybe you're coming from a ship from Civitavecchia and you can't get to Rome by 7 in the morning, another really good way to avoid the line is to purchase the audio guide. By purchasing the audio guide, it'll put you in a special line, a shorter line, a much, much shorter line, getting you into St. Peter's Basilica in minutes instead of hours. For anyone wanting to climb to the top of St. Peter's Dome, again, if you get there early in the morning, that opens up at 8 a.m. If you get in line for that around 7:45, you'll get right up on top of the dome. You can also now purchase tickets that will include the audio guide getting you into St. Peter's Basilica and the tickets to the top of the dome, where you won't have to stand in line for the tickets once you're there. You'll just have to get in line for the elevator or go up the stairs, whatever way you choose, saving you a lot of time, even if you're showing up at 3 or 4 in the afternoon, because you're going to have a specific time on your ticket that you need to be there and go through that process of going to the top of the dome. It's a lot of fun. So if you're at St. Peter's Basilica, I strongly recommend you do go to the top of the dome. It's quite an experience and a great view. You say you want to visit Trevi Fountain. Well, that is one of Rome's most popular sites, and as of 2025, they started what they call regulated access. So only so many people can go down to the fountain at a given time. If you're wanting to go down to the fountain so you can throw that coin over one of those two shoulders, I think it's your left shoulder, right shoulder, I don't even know. But if you want to get down there, you're going to have to stand in line to do that. It's free, but there's a long line. But there's a way around this line as well, because the controlled access is only from 9 a.m. until 9 p.m. So if you show up after 9 p.m. or before 9 a.m., you can go down as usual. But know that the fountain is closed on Mondays for cleaning until noon, and there's no regulated access until noon or so on Fridays. I think it's noon as well on Fridays. So if you go to the Trevi Fountain and you show up there and you see that big line, you may not want to stand in it. Come back that evening or the following morning before 9 a.m. and you'll be able to walk right down, again, avoiding the line. Another site in Rome where I see far too many people spend way too much time in line is entering the Roman Forums. Do not enter the Roman Forum right across from the Colosseum. There's always a huge line there. Now, you may already have a ticket thinking, hey, I can just get right in. But that's not the case, because you still have to go through security. The security process can be a little bit slow, and that's why there's a big line. Do not enter right across from the Colosseum. The next busiest place is on Via of the Imperial Forum. There's another entrance over there, a little less busy than right across from the Colosseum, but also still busy. There are actually 5 entry points into the Roman Forums. There are 3 others that are hardly ever busy. I'll put those on the screen. You enter there and you're going to find that you maybe wait 5 minutes instead of an hour or so getting in these other entrances. Again, saving you a lot of time. Be sure to check out our travel guide. It has interactive maps to some of the best food in Rome, a 70+ page PDF, and hours of helpful video. I'll put a link to it in the description with a discount code where you can pick it all up for right around $20. One of my favorite things to do is to catch a sunrise. But by catching a sunrise, it gets you out of bed early, and that's real important. In peak season, the city does not even get that crowded until around 10:30, 11 in the morning. So if you're getting up at 6 in the morning, you're gonna have 5 or so hours before the crowds really start to get crazy. So you can go off and visit Piazza Navona, Trevi Fountain, the Spanish Steps. There's so many great squares and sights to see in Rome that you can do early in the morning without the crowds. Go grab a cup of coffee somewhere, go get some great pastries. I mean, it's great, and Rome is awesome in the morning. I highly recommend you get up out of bed. I know it's hard sometimes, especially if you're up late that night before. Early in the morning is one of our favorite times in Rome, and even in peak season, it's pretty quiet. Let's talk about getting food. Now, if you got up early, you're probably already have an appetite around 10 o'clock or so. Well, good news. Most restaurants start opening up around 10:30, 11 in the morning, so you can be one of the first ones there. When most people are just getting out of bed, they don't have an appetite, you can go right into the pizzerias and different restaurants, grab a great meal without a line, making it super efficient. And in the evening, it's not easy for everybody, but try to eat earlier. That'll save you some time because restaurants do get crowded in the evening. Many restaurants don't open up until 7 or so in the evening, and Romans love to eat late. So if you can, eat early and avoid that big rush at dinner time. Again, saving you some valuable time that you can do other fun things with. That's very good. Now I want to talk to you about 5 of our favorite things to do, especially in peak season. When things get crowded, there are some great sights to see in Rome that aren't usually that impacted with tourists, but are still a lot of fun. First sight I find in Rome that's usually not that crowded with tourists is the Baths of Caracalla. It's located right near Circus Maximus. Very easy to get to. Just take the metro, get onto the B line, get off at the Circus Maximus exit, and from there it's maybe a 5 to 10 minute walk to the Baths of Caracalla. We love visiting the Baths of Caracalla because one thing, it's awesome. It's just really inspiring. You walk through, it's super interesting, and it's usually not that crowded. So it's an awesome site and not crowded, making it ideal, especially in peak season. Another great escape is to walk down to the Tiber River. You can walk along the Tiber River in either direction from where you're at for miles and miles, kilometers and kilometers. It's just great. It's a great escape. Down there you'll find electric bikes you can rent, even those electric scooters so you can go up and down, even just walking. It's just very relaxing knowing that all that chaos is just above you and down on the river. I don't know why, but very few people actually go down there. Yes, you'll run into a few people on their bikes or jogging, but very few people go down there. It's very scenic. It's very peaceful. I highly recommend, while you're in Rome, when you need to recharge your battery, head down to the Tiber River. Another site in Rome that's almost never busy, even on the first Sunday of the month. And on the first Sunday, if you don't know it, most of the sites in Rome are free, but you do have to stand in line, and most of them have huge lines. But I was just here at this site a few weeks ago on the first Sunday, and I walked right in. The site I'm talking about is Trajan's Market. Trajan's Market is the world's oldest enclosed market, built around 100 AD. It's fantastic. It's a great time. A visit to the Roman Forum would not be complete without a visit over to Trajan's Market as well, in my opinion. In fact, I think it's one of the top 10 sites in all of Rome. Even if you're visiting Rome in peak season, chances are Trajan's Market will not be crowded. Another great escape in Rome is to visit one of the mini parks. There are a lot of great parks in Rome, but none greater than Villa Borghese. Villa Borghese is easy to get to. It's centrally located right in the heart of Rome. You can get onto the metro, get off at the Flaminio exit, and from the Flaminio exit, it's on the A line. It's just a 5-minute walk, and you'll be at Villa Borghese. That's where you'll also find the Villa Borghese Gallery, but there's so much more to the park than that. There's lakes, there's a zoo, there's tons of paths, just a great place to go escape, walk around, and enjoy the atmosphere of Villa Borghese Park. So I highly recommend you do that. Next time you're feeling stressed in Rome, head over to Villa Borghese. If it's not on your list of things to do while you're in Rome, I highly recommend you make a new list. Do not miss Via Appia Antica. Via Appia Antica is a great street to ride bikes down, to walk down, just explore Via Appia Antica. It's incredible and it's peaceful. There's hardly any tourists out there except on Sundays. Avoid it on Sundays because Romans from all over come to Via Appia Antica along with tourists, making it kind of crowded. And the point of going there is to kind of get away from the crowds, so don't do that on Sunday. Every other day, Via Appia Antica is an awesome experience. I actually have a video, I did a couple of videos I've done about Via Appia Antica, including a walk down the whole, like, I think it's 15 kilometers, 16 kilometers of Via Appia Antica. It's a great video, I think, and it will give you a lot of insight of how to do that. If you're interested, I'll put a link to that in the description of this video. Drumroll, my number one favorite thing to do in Rome, especially when it's crazy busy, is to escape and head over to Aqueduct Park. I've done a whole video about Aqueduct Park. It's easy to get to. It's located right on the metro. You take the A line, you get off on Subaugusta station, and from there it's about a 10-minute walk to the park. And I've done a video that will take you, it's a GPS guided video, so it'll really guide you so you don't have to worry about getting lost. And it will guide you through the park, past the huge aqueducts. It's just awesome. It'll then take you down. It's about 3 miles, which is about 5 kilometers in all. You know, it sounds like maybe a lot, but when you're walking in the park, trust me, it goes by like that. And it's just an awesome experience. So it makes a great evening or afternoon, depending on the weather. Head out to Aqueduct Park. You won't regret it. I'll put a link to that video in this video because, again, it is my favorite thing to do in Rome, especially when I need an escape from the crowds. Now I want to talk briefly about some of the tickets you're going to need to purchase before arriving in Rome. If you try to get them at the site, it's just not a good idea. The lines are going to be long. They may be sold out. And there's really only 3. The first one is Villa Borghese Gallery. This one you really need to purchase online. I don't even think you can pick those up on site. So if you want to visit that museum, it's in Villa Borghese. It's a fantastic museum. Be sure to get that in advance online. The second one is the Colosseum. Now there are tickets to the Colosseum maybe the day of or the next day. You can pick those up on site, but you'll have to stand in a big line, and that can be avoided by purchasing those online. Now, do you know this, that those tickets for the Colosseum come available 30 days prior to you coming to Rome or to your entry date. So if you're trying to book your trip 3 months out and you go online and you don't see any available tickets, that's why. They will not be available until it's 30 days within the date. And then you can purchase those. It's 18 euros. And the greatest thing with those tickets, they also include a one-time entry into the Roman Forum. it's a great bargain. So when you're in Rome, take advantage of going to the Colosseum and the Roman Forum, but do get those in advance. The last ticket you really need to purchase in advance is for the Vatican Museum. By purchasing those in advance, they do charge a €5 surcharge, unfortunately, but the alternative is a big line. So be sure to get those in advance if you're going to be visiting the Vatican Museum. It'll save you a lot of time, I promise you. And yeah, it's all about saving time. As far as the other tickets, everything else in Rome, including the Pantheon, can be purchased, I think, the day of. Now, the Pantheon is one of those things that you may want to get that in advance, but it's really not that big of a problem to get those on site, in my opinion. So everything else can be purchased when you're in Rome as you need them, opposed to trying to work your day or plan a certain time of day when you're going to be there for those sites. Now, the big sites is good to be planned, but the other sites can be a little bit more spontaneous. And yeah, there you go. And hopefully that was good advice. As you've been preparing online for your visit to Rome, you may have noticed there's lots of different Rome passes. Rome passes are passes that will get you to the sites. You prepay a certain fee and you'll be able to access many of Rome's sites. Some of the passes actually include transportation, the public transportation, buses, and the metro and the trams. I know the Roma Pass does, and that's probably the most popular pass in Italy, is called the Roma Pass. It includes all of your public transportation and several of your entries into the museums and whatnot. It can be a good value for some people, but in my opinion, for us, when we used it, we hardly used public transportation on that particular trip, and we didn't actually get to that many of the included sites on the pass. So for us, it was a bust. For you, it may be a winner, but I think for most people, I would say don't buy the pass or any of the passes. Just go a la carte. Go to the sites that you want to see and pay for them as you go, and don't play around with the passes. But that's, again, just my opinion and some advice I want to share to you in case you see things like I do. One more thing I almost forgot to mention. If you're planning to visit Rome during peak season, it's best to plan your visit on the weekdays. Try to avoid the weekends. The weekends can just be too crowded, in my opinion. You can still have a good time, don't get me wrong, but it's best to visit Rome on the weekdays. Now, the weekdays during peak season are also pretty busy, but just less busy than the weekends. Also, I just wanted to thank those that stuck around to the end of the video. Coming up right now is a playlist of my 5 favorite videos. I've made a lot of videos. Here is my 5 favorite, or here are my 5 favorite, and they are all about Rome, how to help you have a great time when visiting Rome. To the next one, alla prossima, ciao.